Hello, everyone. Just checking in again. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. I'm in a different office today, but echo, so I just wanted to take some time and shoot a quick video for our Friday meetings. But I wanted to talk about the fix. You know, you hear a lot about the problems, and there are problems, and they are serious, but what is the solution? How do we fix them? And before we get into that, please like and subscribe, comment, and share. I appreciate you guys and the feedback and support. Uh, Here's the hard truth. The days of, and I've said this in multiple videos before, but just want to provide some more context and layers here because this is a very layered conversation. A good person I think you should go check out his videos is Uneducated Economist. He does a really good job of breaking down how the economy actually works and monetary policy and the threat of the credible threat theory. He talks a lot about that. So I'm not going to get off into that, but I'm just going to kind of summarize what he was talking about, and it's true. Like if you just look at all the signs. First things first is if you think you're going to work your normal 9-to-5 job and make it mean live a normal life, that's normal, but live a life to where you can have a couple of vacations a year and have your discretionary income, you know, and not feel the pinch of inflation. And most people would say that you really want to focus on your discretionary income. How do you 10x your discretionary income? For those of you who don't know, your discretionary income is what's left over at the end of the month so that you could, if you lit it on fire, that money, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't affect your world. So that's called discretionary income. What's the fix? In America, just to give you some history here, we have changed our society and our culture from a producer, manufacturer culture and saving into like 40s, 50s, and 60s into a consumer, and we export, or we don't export, we import more than we export. So there goes the manufacturing out the window. So we are more of the consumer base than we are, the importing and saving. We just don't do that. Our economy is a large percent based on the consumer. How much you consume on your day-to-day life to run your household and your household and your life. So if people stop consuming goods and services, that will then force an economy or economy crash, rather. And so when you start to think about that, now we have to rely on a 2 household income. So the days of one person being able to carry a family of, basic family of 4 is almost unheard of, right? Maybe our grandparents back in those days, it was more normal to have one job starting in the mailroom and working your way all the way up to where you can support your family, but you can't do that anymore. That's done. When we move off of the gold standard and now we have a fiat currency, which is really not just backed by anything, it's more backed by oil. And you see a lot of countries trying to change how they can purchase oil, meaning like they're trying to move away from the dollar because the dollar and the oil are backed, which is why you have currencies like crypto, which largely is predicated on the dollar failing, essentially, because it's a more secure commodity. I like to think of crypto as like the gold of the digital space, if you will, of the digital market, if that makes sense. Like you can't produce any more gold, right? It's one of those things that are there and, get as much of it as you can, which is same with crypto. Is like there's only a certain amount that's available. Forget that number. that hasn't even been mined out yet. So I say all that to say, you have to start thinking, what can I do to generate more income? Starting a YouTube channel, selling things on Etsy, getting creative. I don't know what that is and what that looks like for you, but you just can't make it on one income alone. I would challenge everyone to think outside the box, do whatever you got to do. We know we have to invest our money. If you're saving money, you're losing money. Should you have some reserves? Absolutely. Should you have as much cash as makes you feel comfortable? Absolutely. But you do need those dollars to go work for you, right? You're not really winning unless you're making money when you sleep. You have to get out of the mentality of trading time for money. That is a losing equation, and it keeps you in a system, right? It keeps you in a system, and that separation of worker and owner, that is driving this wealth gap. Wealth inequality, no matter who you vote in, you can't fix it because it's unfixable. They're trying to fix it, and they'll promise you to the moon they'll fix it, but you just can't. And like it or love it, that's a lot of the issues with most people would argue with the capitalistic society. Capitalism needs a lower class, workers. They need people to work, right? Businesses need people to work. We are seeing the change in AI changing that, but that's, we're some years away, but it is coming, probably sooner than we like. But what we need to be focusing on, and what I'm focusing on, is how do I generate more income now that I can then reinvest money that is not taking food off the table. Obviously, I always preach fundamentals have to be the fundamentals. Saving, paying off debt. And like I've said before, I'm focused on savings this year. Not saying I'm not focused on debt, but I'm really trying to be intentional about my savings, and trying to be a little bit on the cash heavy side, because there is a storm coming. No one knows. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a prediction. I don't know any of that. All I know is, one, don't be scared about it, even though it is probably scary. Two, if you're doing everything you can do, well, that has to be enough, right? There's no point in stressing yourself out. All I'm saying is, find something you could do that takes minimal effort. And if it takes a lot of effort, like this YouTube channel that I started, to me, I'm not monetized, but I do treat it like I treat a job, a part-time job. I don't put 40 hours in, but I am intentional about coming on here 3 days a week, minimum. And, I take some time out. I try to think about a topic, and that's not hard to do depending on what lane you're in. But my thought process is, this is an investment. I'm planting seed now to reap fruit later. So I would just encourage everyone, don't buy into the fear mongering. There's a lot of fear mongering happening out there right now. There's a lot of scary things happening right now, but do the things that you can do and you're good at. Find something in the digital space that you can do that could make money. It may not make money now, but don't focus on the now. Focus on 5 years from now. We got to start really looking at those projections. The idea is to get off the rat race, get off the wheel, okay? Look around. I'm sure you have a hobby. I'm sure you have an interest. I always encourage people to start a YouTube channel and figure it out. There's plenty of space on here for people to be interested in you. You'll find your tribe. People will find you. Hopefully this is helpful and it at least made you think. But remember, you cannot trade time for money. It's good to do it in the short term, but it's not a long-term winning proposition. Take care. Please continue to like and subscribe, comment, and share. Appreciate it. Bye.